is in studio on Wisconsin's Morning News. Olympic champion Jordan Stolz is in the house. Jordan, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Welcome home.
Yeah, thank you. It's been a good run. It's nice to be back.
So what was the first thing you did when you got home? Was there like one thing that you needed to do or had to do or not?
Oh, I went to bed right away. I had been gone for so long, and there's been so many nights.
Days.
Yeah, I haven't really slept for days. There's been stuff that's been going on. A couple appearances that I did. And, the World Championships were tough. I did, more races than anybody's ever done in a row. I did 8 races in total, so with no rest. So, yeah, it was tough.
Well, given that you've now gotten that rest, let's start with this. And I feel like we know you, Jordan, because we've been talking about you for years, and someone who's highlighted your career from early on, Lori Nickel, friend of the program at the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. We've been talking about you for quite some time. And then, of course, we had the Olympics. You're aware that we would like to have a parade or some sort of large-scale event, right?
If you can make a large-scale event, I'll do it.
Will you?
Oh, okay.
Sure.
I know this isn't maybe your favorite thing to do, right? You
Right.
love to skate, and you like to skate faster than anybody on the planet Earth. But this part of it, for some Olympians, they can't wait to get on the Wheaties box. That kind of doesn't seem to fit your character.
I like it when it comes to me. Of course, I like skating in general and trying to become better than the next guy. And then the publicity that comes with it, that's nice. But I don't really feel like I'm going outward myself to try and find it. So if it comes to me, if you can set up a large-scale event or even others like a parade, but like thinking back, like it was kind of like a while for me, like after I got back from the games. So I didn't think a parade would be too like huge of a deal. But
Well,
yeah,
we'll
if
wait
you guys
for the
still
snow
think
to
it
melt,
is.
maybe. I
Yeah,
mean,
right,
we'll
right.
talk about a welcome home, but
We'll try to
then,
figure
yes,
out
we'll do that parade.
what type of statue, if we should have you
Oh,
in the
sure.
starting position,
Right?
or if it's after you cross the finish line,
Maybe
we'd
we
have to
can make
come
some
up.
snow art or something. I don't know.
For sure. Well, I don't know what we want to talk about more. I want to get through maybe a few things on your races, although we heard from you in a number of interviews throughout the games and how those things broke down for you. But I'm more interested, too, as well, in that overall Olympic experience. But let's break down a few of your races. Gold in the 1,000 and gold in the 500, and then your silver in the 1,500. Overall, are you happy with that? I know you wanted to come home with 4 golds. No one will blame you for that. But you feel good about this?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. Of course, 4 golds is kind of like
Absurd.
Yeah, it would have been absurd. But like winning the mass start, it's just such a toss-up. Anything can happen, and all the guys were kind of expecting me to pull that break back. But I'm more of a sprinter type, so having them like try and make me lead it back, it just wasn't going to work. If I would have done that, my legs would have been dead. I wouldn't have been able to sprint finish. So that one's kind of out of the question. Of course, 1,500, I would have loved to win that because it's kind of like my 3 specialty distance, 500,000, 1,500. So losing that was kind of slightly a disappointment, but, it's still a silver medal, and 2 golds and silver is pretty good. So I'm pretty happy with it. 1,000 meter was super nice to win, kind of a relief to finally get a gold medal and be, Olympic champion on your first, race of the games. And then going into the 500, it just felt, pretty good. And yeah, it was a good race.
So what do you do with those medals? Do you end up hanging them on a wall, like on a dartboard, or do you put them in a nice table, like I think Bonnie Blair has? Like, what do you end up doing?
So far,
with
I've been sleeping with them, so
them?
I just keep them under my
For
pillow.
real?
Yeah.
Good. I'm happy for you because we've heard from other Olympians, like, I don't know, they're in a sock drawer. Not that important to me.
No, I like them a bit too much. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
You mentioned the overall performance, the pressure you must have been under as you entered these games, knowing that you'd won at every one of these distances. You knew you were among the fastest skaters on the planet Earth. You tested yourself at that level. How much pressure did you feel? And I'm not saying necessarily from the outside, but just inside in your heart when you lined up for that first race.
I think it was a decent amount. I think it was the most I've had, before a race, just because I am the top guy in those distances, and everybody's kind of like trying to reach me and trying to, take me down from that spot. So losing one of those races would have kind of been, devastating, especially if it was the 1,000 meter, like going into a first race of the games and I get silver or something. And then, of course, that would give Debu a chance at winning 2 golds because he's really good in the 500. That was something I really didn't want to happen. So that was kind of in the back of my mind, adding a bit of pressure. But media stuff and like Snoop Dogg and Simone Biles showing up to the races, that didn't really add any pressure. A lot of people ask me that, but I don't think it did. So I think it was more so just trying to go to the line and have a good race.
Is it a pretty small community, the speed skating community? I mean, you've raced against all those guys before, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's basically the same people traveling all over the world for, the entire winter, 6 World Cups. So it's rather small community, yeah.
How distracting were the drones?
Oh, I didn't get distracted at all.
Really?
Yeah, no, I couldn't hear him. When you're going so fast, the wind is blowing right past your ears, so you can't really hear it.
So even when you're like working out or getting warmed up, then those
Oh,
things
then
are
it's
hovering
annoying.
around.
Yeah, then it's a bother. Yeah.
The hum.
Yeah, if I'm trying to stretch and stuff and there's a drone that flies in above my head, yeah.
Do they warn you at all beforehand?
No.
Do they say like, "Hey, heads up, we're going to have these around," or they just
No, they
all
just
of a-
fly in,
Oh,
take some
nuts.
video and leave.
Jordan Stolz is with us, Olympic champion here from Kewaskum, Wisconsin, in studio on Wisconsin's Morning News. I thought that was interesting. I don't know if you've gone back and to what degree you go back and watch your races, or if you watch like film versus what we saw on NBC. But I have to say, from a fan perspective, the drones and the technology
so cool.
and the
Oh, yeah.
camera work, like it's made us feel like we were there, man.
Yeah, I thought the camera work was great. It made you actually feel like you could really visualize the race, right? Because usually it's just one camera on the side and speed skating, you can't really tell how fast they're going. But
Yeah.
I think with the drone, like you could really see. I thought it was great. I thought they did a good job.
Do you go back and watch video then of your races? Are you breaking things down technically?
I break it down, analyze, compare to other skaters. I haven't watched, my races too much from the games just because I've been moving ahead, trying to, get on to the next thing. And of course, like, there's no reason to go back and look at like, oh, I could have done this better because it's already over, right?
Right.
I mean, it took 4 years to prepare for it. The last whole, summer I've been preparing for it, and then finally it happened. So came out pretty well.
So when you're at the Olympics, obviously, like when we see it on TV, it looks so grandiose. It just looks enormous and huge and bold, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
when you're there in it, is it just? I mean, it's busy. There's people everywhere, but can
Right.
you feel that energy?
You can feel it in the stadium, and then kind of like in the opening ceremonies, you can feel it. But going back to the village, it's kind of like you separate from that. You get in the bus, sit for 45 minutes, and then go back to your little room with, your cafeteria food. So it kind of feels like that. Of course, the village is nice, but it's not the total like surreal Olympic
Right.
like feeling living in the village. But
Well-
when you go outside, then you feel it.
On that, I did have a question because your dad sort of went viral with his comments about how he was bringing you steak
Yeah.
at the village, and there was the drop off and all that. So when he could bring you food from outside, is there a chef there that can grill that up for you, or how does that work?
So my blade tech was actually cooking my steaks.
Okay.
So he
What,
had
you
two
just have
jobs.
a
He was
grill
chef
in
and the blade tech. Yeah.
It's on a hot plate.
Yeah. We had like a electric stove, and had a frying pan and put oil on it, and he would cook me steaks every day.
So we were told by one of your colleagues that like it can be loud in the village, like because sometimes people who are finished early or done competing, they're just like out partying.
Right.
Do you find that where you couldn't sleep because people are up all night celebrating?
I mean, I pretty much use earplugs all the time at home too, so I was kind of used to it. But yeah, I mean, the people are partying and making noise, and my room was kind of like right next to the kitchen, and I was on the second floor, and the like exhaust fan was right next to my window. So even if I open my window, it's going to be noisier than the people that are partying and yelling. So it's kind of canceled itself out. I had to smell like burgers and whatever they were cooking, bacon was blowing into my window every single day. So I would open my room door, open the window so I could get air from, the other part of the building and the window coming in.
Hungry
and then of
for
course sleep with
breakfast
earplugs.
throughout the whole games. Bacon.
Yeah, right.
That's good.
Every day.
Jordan, really appreciate you taking some time to sit with us this morning. I thought it was interesting now that you're outside of the competitive seasons for speed skating. You won't really touch the ice much, but until fall?
Yeah, pretty much. I won't be back on the long track until August. I think that's when the ice comes in at the Pettit Center and the the large oval. They still have it up right now for public skate, but it comes out March 28th. So I won't be back till August.
Does that drive you nuts? Like, man, I got to get on the ice. I got to get on the ice. Or are you just so happy for this time to think about it and do anything else?
I definitely enjoy the break because you're going in circles all winter long. So it's kind of nice to have that whole summer to build and get stronger on the bike, in the weight room, all of that stuff, and just kind of mentally, rest from traveling. It's nice.
So many athletes, especially runners, need cool down time after they compete. Like they need to
Right.
what is that, the lactic acids or whatever?
Yeah, you flush the lactic acid.
So I was thinking
Eric
about you.
was obsessed with this. He
I
kept
was.
talking
Okay.
about it. I never see him cool down.
Because then you're doing the media and then you're doing this, and like it seems like after a race, these huge races, they're moving around and they have to make sure that you're doing all the other things. Like, did you
Right.
get time to be able to do that?
Not really at the games. It was kind of tough because the media would take like an hour.
Right.
Then you do a press conference for half an hour. Then you do dope testing for another half hour, and it ends up being 2 hours, 2.5 hours. An ideal scenario is you finish the race and right away you get on a bike
Right.
and start flushing the lactate. That helps a lot for the next day. Luckily, the races were spaced out enough where I can kind of recover from that until the next day at the games. But it was still kind of a pain, As soon as you're done with the race, you're kind of dead.
So they don't care about that at all. They're not helping the athletes.
Just disregard it.
Olympic champion Jordan Stolz is with us here on Wisconsin's Morning News. When you talk about taking some time off, obviously you will have training and all of that, but Do you allow yourself, Jordan, even a week or whatever duration to really actually do nothing? And what does that look like for you? Does it mean just sitting around, or does it mean I eat burgers and do whatever I want? Or
I mean, doing nothing is like eating whatever and not really focusing on my sleep pattern.
Yeah.
And doing nothing for about I would say about 2 weeks of nothing, and then getting back into it and just, slowly building back up.
So you were at the gold medal hockey game,
Right.
for the men?
Yeah.
How amazing was that? Describe that.
Yeah, it was
atmosphere.
crazy. They were just going as hard as they could the entire time, trying to kill each other. And of course, the guy who got his teeth knocked out, he ended up scoring the winning goal, and that was insane. They ended the same way as the women's, right?
Yep.
Right in overtime, and then one shot.
How was the crowd? Was the crowd all?
Yeah, they were going crazy. It was amazing.
must have felt so awesome to be a fan there, but also a fan with medals around your neck. Like your job was done. You were
Right.
part of that new brother and sisterhood of Olympic champions to be
Right.
able to sit there and have the hard part of your work done and know that your games were a success.
Yeah, that's how it felt. Like sitting
Yeah.
there watching, like feeling like successful, and now
Yeah.
watching them succeed just feels good as the Olympic team as a whole.
Did you
That
think
was-
about going into the locker room and saying, "Hey, I'm Jordan Stolz. Just want to say congratulations."
Here's what
guys."
these look like. This here is gold.
Hey, nice
This
work.
one's also gold.
Yeah.
You should get one.
I think they have a lot of gold now.
There is that. Wanted to ask you about a couple of the other famous encounters you had. You mentioned Snoop Dogg and Simone Biles. Anybody else that stood out to you, or any stories about them and your brushes with the fame?
Well, there's one thing with Snoop Dogg. I actually met him before he even knew he was going to my race. He was coming to visit the village, building, and he was getting off the elevator. The camera crews were coming, and I had to leave for the rink, to get on the bus. So I see him, and my blade tech goes, "Uncle Snoop," and then he's like, "Hey, what's going on?" Right?
I think he said exactly that.
Yeah, right.
Hey, what's going on?
And I said, "What's up, D-O-double-G?" And then I gave him and then got in the elevator. He didn't really know who I was. And then, of course, 2 days later, he's at my race watching me. So I don't think he really knew like that before then.
He didn't know he had a brush with greatness.
Right.
He just thought he was doing you a favor.
Right.
Same guy off camera or no?
Yeah, he's pretty normal. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's good.
I want to talk to you about your family and how you grew up in the sport, Jordan. Anyone who's a parent who helped their kids become successful, whether it's taking them to Little League or, I have theater kids or dance kids or band kid, whatever. Parents make a lot of sacrifices.
Oh, yeah.
It's the driving to here. It's the going to there. It's the fees for this. It's maybe you're on a travel team, all of these things. And you hope one day when your kid makes it,
Right.
they look back and say, thanks, Mom and Dad.
Right.
I hear and feel that gratitude in your voice and in your story.
Yeah, for sure. I think my parents really believed in me and how well I could become in skating if, they actually put the time into it and if I put the time into it. And I think they can see that paid off. I can see it too, right? But if they wouldn't have believed that I could have been that good, especially my mom, she was always thinking, I'm going to be, Olympics, gold medalist. And I think she always had that feeling. And just when you train that way and, treat things like races and traveling to different locations, if you treat it that way, then eventually things are going to start to go well. And that's kind of how things went.
At what point in that process, Jordan, did it begin to occur to you that this is more than a hobby? Like this is something a lot of kids play sports and it's something fun to do, but where you
And a lot of
started
kids think they're going to be the center fielder when they're 10 years old, too.
there is that. When did it become real for you? Like I might actually be able to do this.
Well, when I first realized I could make the Olympic team was probably when I was 16, the year before the Olympics. I was still progressing. I was getting way better. The year when I was 15 years old, I wasn't, that great compared to where I should have been. But then I got a lot stronger that summer with a different program. And I came back that next year when I was 16. I was a national champion at 16 years old. And then the next season I made the Olympic team. I think that's when I realized how much more I could progress because I was just starting to do new things and I could see the time shaving off. As for taking it seriously, I feel like I always took it very seriously, even when I was 6, 7 years old, just because the kids, on the team that we were, racing with, we all wanted to beat each other. So it wasn't this play around type sport. I don't know. I feel like we all took it pretty seriously.
So if you were able to compete in the Summer Olympics,
Yeah.
what event would you want to do?
What I want to do, I would love to do, the 100-meter, tracks.
All right. Which one?
Fastest
Which
man
one?
on shoes and
I
skates.
should ask this. Which one do you think you could do?
I could probably do some track cycling. I think my power numbers on the bike are good enough. Maybe need a little bit of time for a transition, but if I were to fully prepare for LA 28, I could definitely do that.
Ooh,
But-
Lolo Jones, right?
Yeah, I just don't want to affect my skating though.
everyone's interested already in the next Olympic Games. So over the course of the next 4 years,
Right.
are your targets firmly set on that?
I would say so. I would love to have, some more gold medals won. I think building up, like I still have world championships and world cups to do and try and win more titles, trying to build like a legacy in skating, right? And then, of course, on a larger stage, go to the Olympics and try and clean up again. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
And then, like, what is there beyond that, right? And I hate, it's a, what do you want to do when you grow up kind of
Right.
question. But, like, do you have your sights set? Like, okay, when I'm going to have to retire some days or something you want to do?
I haven't really thought that far ahead, but possibly I wouldn't mind being a coach, wouldn't mind getting into cycling. I think I could, be good at cycling if I really put a lot of time into it, especially like stage races, maybe bunch sprint finishes. I could possibly do that, but that's, of course, cycling's so hard. I don't know if I would want to do that after a career is already over in skating, right? 8 years down the road, now I have to do something that's just as difficult or maybe even harder, right? Physically.
Could be a TV guy. Could be a Dan Jansen,
Oh, I don't know
get in
about
front of the camera.
Maybe.
This is going great. We can submit
Yeah,
this
right.
to you.
Great.
And also, we should add as parents, you don't have to have that all figured out just yet.
Right.
I give that advice to my kids all the time. You don't have to have it all figured out just yet. So go ahead and take your time
I
on
will.
that. Can I bother you to get into your athlete brain? Because Eric and I both play sports and we play
So
competitively
Vince,
and
Vince
whatever.
fancies himself an athlete like you. So-
Very similar. A very similar athlete. No, but I think for a lot of us who play sports recreationally but still want to be competitive, for me, the word focus, I just don't really understand it.
Oh, really?
How do you get into, every athlete says, and Bonnie Blair's talked about her focus, every athlete
Any
who's
MLB pitcher.
yes,
maybe.
who talks about getting in that zone, getting in that focus, and doing that. Can you walk us through a process? Is there one for you
Yeah.
to focus?
There's focus in training. You're looking at each little thing that's going to build up over time, and you're just thinking about it constantly each day. I feel like that's, the biggest focus, right? And outside of, racing. Racing is more so you put everything out of your mind when you're going to the line and you're just going as hard as you can. And you're kind of using like an autopilot mode when you're racing and you know what to do, but you also have to be calm enough to be able to think about, what am I doing when I'm entering the corner here, or, exiting, and not getting, too rushed and start making mistakes. So if you get too excited and too much adrenaline, right? I don't drink coffee before my races because if I go to the line, I'll false start if I have too much caffeine. So something like that. So there's kind of that focus. And then I feel like just the focus over the summer is just you find little things that you need to work on and build up over time. And eventually it'll get better. Then you'll see it, pay off into the winter.
Is there a song or an artist that you play to kind of get into the run, into the zone?
Guns N' Roses is good.
Yeah. Anything from GNR? All right.
Yep.
Fantastic. Any further questions, Your Honor?
No, I think this is great.
Jordan, you gave us almost a whole half hour here. Really appreciate it. We've been so excited to actually meet you and have you here in person as we've talked about you for years. And
You're very easy to root for.
yes,
Thank you.
very proud of your success.
Yes.
And you know how Wisconsin is. Like,
Oh, yeah.
this state so wanted to, and will continue to celebrate you. So I hope we do have that parade.
Well, I hope so. Thank you.